Hi, I'm Amanda Harris, and today we're talking about case number 22, off-duty conduct, the cop and the prostitute. This case involves Sergeant Sergio Guzman and Penny O'Laughlin. It also brings in Detective Sergeant Chuck Farrell of the Albuquerque Police Department. This happened in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Um, and in 1998, Sergeant Sergio Guzman was working vice. He detained or apprehended Penny O'Laughlin in a known red light district. This was along the Louisiana border, and he suspected that she had some dealings with a drug trafficking cartel working out of Cuba, so he got her to be an informant for him, and they worked professionally together for a couple of years, and their relationship grew to something more. And this brought shame upon the department, and the department decided that it needed to be investigated because this was against the standard operating procedures, the SOPs. So the department had Detective Sergeant Chuck Farrell come in and do an investigation of the relationship and what Guzman was, his conduct. So Guzman had spent a lot of time with O'Laughlin, and she had children, and Guzman took care of her children a lot of the time. And he loaned her his car one Friday night, and she disappeared, and he didn't know where she was or what was going on. And she didn't come back until Monday night around 2100 hours, which is 9 o'clock. And his car ended up being used in a burglary over that weekend. She just appeared. She didn't have his car with her, and she wanted to come inside. That was that Monday night. He did not let her inside. She remained at his door for several hours, pleading and begging to come inside, until he finally called his lieutenant to report the incident, and then she left. But a short time later, she came back and wanted to come in, said she was freezing, so he gave her some blankets and said she needed to go find a shelter. He finally Guzman called for a van to come and pick her up and took her to a shelter. He called her the next day and said that he could no longer help her. However, in June of 2002, Guzman contacted his lieutenant again at home and said that she was once again at his door begging to be let in. She would not leave. The domestic abuse response team was sent to pick her up. They took her to a shelter, and the two, Guzman and O'Laughlin, were ordered to have no further contact with each other. Sergeant Guzman, he was called into a meeting with his captain and his lieutenant, and they advised him to stay away from Penny O'Laughlin, to have no further contact with her. However, this was strictly advice being given. It was not written. It was not a direct order. So it wasn't written in his record or anything. So later in 2002, Guzman ignored the recommendation of his captain and his lieutenant, and he gave O'Laughlin a ride to an apartment complex. He did not know that this complex was under surveillance. There were undercover officers that were on a stakeout, and they saw Guzman with O'Laughlin, and so he was subsequently disciplined by 40 days suspension without pay for this conduct. He was in violation of the SOPs. Personal Code of Conduct 1-04-6, conduct both on and off duty, and 1-04-1, Personal Code of Conduct. So he was once again assigned Farrell was once again assigned to investigate Guzman for his activities from November 15th through the 17th of 2003. He was being accused of violating the personal code of conduct, which is conduct unbecoming an officer, that which would bring shame, that which could bring the department into disrepute, or that which impairs the operation or efficiency of the department. He was also accused of conduct while on duty. Insubordination consists of any employee who willfully neglects or deliberately refuses any lawful order given by a superior and or acting supervisor. Also, conduct both on and off duty, where it says that personnel shall avoid regular or continuous associations with persons whom they know are under active criminal investigation or indictment, or who have a reputation in the community or the department for present involvement in felonious or criminal behavior, except as necessary in the performance of official duties. So, yeah, he was in violation of these. During Farrell's investigation, he talked to a lot of people, doing interviews and such. O'Laughlin was interviewed, and she said that he doesn't deserve to be investigated, that she does. She said lots of police officers go out and hook up with prostitutes, but Guzman is a good guy. He was just trying to help her out. Farrell was amazed that Guzman admitted to having O'Laughlin living with him since July of 2003. He even admitted that he remembered being told, not to see her anymore. However, it wasn't a direct order. It was just advice among friends. He also said that he had a baby with O'Laughlin, that they had a child together, and he just wanted the best for his child. And that's why he had her living with him, to provide for the child care and for the mother of the baby. So my questions that I had for this case, while I was very adamant at first about agreeing with the facts of this case, because he was in violation of the SOPs, when you have a job, you have to abide by the rules of that job, and you are a representative of where you work. I feel like they were justified, but I do see where, sympathetically, what Guzman had a good heart, but there are other ways to help. But do you think that all of this may have been dissuaded if Guzman's lieutenant or captain had disciplined him a little bit harsher? Had they had a written or direct order not to see her anymore? Do you feel that public officials, such as police, have a right to privacy in their private life? Do you think that the APD was out to get Guzman after the first time, after he had refused to take the friendly advice? How do you think all of this could have been avoided? And finally, should businesses be allowed to have a set of SOPs that can control one's behavior when off duty or off the clock? I know I went long. I'm sorry. Have a good day.